alright. Okay. Alright.
Hey guys, we're gonna do our homemade hamburgers and buns. So here's our recipe. Here's the ingredients for the bun recipe. We're gonna get started with our milk and yeast and sugar mixture. We're gonna let that get nice and foamy. First, we're gonna let it sit for a good 5 minutes. And after that's done, we're gonna add in our egg mixture. We're going to mix that around with our yeast and milk mixture. And then we're going to add in our flour. We're going to mix this until it's nice and incorporated, and then we're going to switch it out into our dough hook and let the dough hook go ahead and knead our dough for us. That's going for a little while. I add in our melted butter or our softened butter. Let that go. Now that that's done its part, I'm just going to take this out into the bowl, out of the bowl, and I'm just going to knead it for a little while myself. I think it's just like an additional 8 to 10 minutes of kneading by hand. Now the dough isn't really that sticky, but it's nice. I think it's because of all the butter in there. And I really don't know what I'm doing, so this is just me doing my best. And after I knead that for that, I think 8 to 10 minutes, I'm just going to get some olive oil and put it in my bowl. Make sure that gets around all on the dough, and then we're just going to cover this up with some plastic wrap and let this sit for a little while, for a good hour or two. That's rested for a good hour or two. We're going to punch it out. I'm going to put it onto a floured surface cutting board. I'm going to put this into a little log, and then I'm going to cut it in half. That's how I measure out my buns. Nice even bun amount. And then we're just going to set these aside. Cover the rest with some plastic wrap while I go ahead and put these into little balls into our bun shape. And we're just going to continue to do that for the rest of them. So now we got our parchment paper on our baking sheet. I'm just gonna get these good size apart from each other, like 2 fingers apart. Punch them down a little on top because I don't want them to be rising up so high. And then I just have a little bit of olive oil here. I'm just gonna lightly top the top of my buns with it, so that when I put my plastic wrap on top, it doesn't stick to the top of plastic wrap. We're gonna let this sit in a warm spot for another 45 minutes to rise. Now that that has risen, I'm just gonna lightly brush it with a little bit of butter up on top. I'm just gonna flatten it down the top too as well, because like again, these are hamburger buns, so we want them not to be so puffy up on top. So I'm just lightly getting it with a little butter. And then I have my little sesame seeds here, because of course these are hamburger buns. You can do without, but I like to put them on top so that they stick to a good amount, because some of them are going to fall off. But because of that butter, it should be nice and sticky. We're going to set this in the oven. So I put this in the oven 400 for a good 15 minutes or so.
This is my popsicle recipe. So first we put the sugar in. And we put all the sugar in, and then we mix it up and put it in hot water. And then we get a Kool-Aid packet if you want Kool-Aid in it. Then you pour it in the cup, and then you get your tropical punch and put it in a cup like that. And then we pour hot water to both of them. Then we mix both of them up. And then we pour them into a popsicle mold. Oh hi, that's me! Let a parent do this. Then we pour in the other one. And then we put a top on top of it. Let a parent do this one too. Then we put into the popsicle, in the sticks.
Here's the start of our hamburger. I wanted to grind my own meat this time, so I got like 2 pounds of this beef chuck. I cut it last night actually. I cut it up into pieces because they said that it's better to be lightly frozen when you're grinding it. But then I just put it into small pieces so that it will go down my grinder a little bit better. So this is me just, this is my first time using this grinder, so I really don't know what I'm doing, but it's a good mix from the meat. It's a good mix, meat and fat with that chuck. And so here it's coming out, it's getting very flaky. That's because it is partly frozen. And then you get those nice, good red, fresh looking meat color. Look how well that looks. So yeah, we just have our until grounded meat that we did. I'm very pleased with myself. I like how that came out. I think I'm gonna do that more often. It's a lot more healthier. So here's our ground beef mixture that we have. I just put it in a bowl. I'm gonna season it with some garlic salt, a little black pepper, and I believe Worcestershire sauce. Just gonna mix that all in together. Now this meat, because it's freshly ground, you can't over mix it. The kind that you get from the store, you can. I put in a little ball and then I divide it with my hands into 4s. This is my Rachel Ray 30-minute meals technique. Okay, so then I just get my balls and those 4s that I put into 2s. And my little hamburger presser. Look how well it came out. So perfect. And I like the little designs that it came on there too. I pressed it out exactly how I wanted it. Exact shape, size. Because I don't like a thin patty, but then I don't like them too thick either. Again, my girls are going to be eating this and we don't like thick patties. but then we actually want to taste the meat too, so we wanted a good size. So this is perfect size for me. And I just put it on some parchment paper that I cut up, just so that it's easy to put it in the refrigerator to store for a little while until I'm ready for it, and then to place on my grill when I'm done with it. I'm just going to continue to do this to the rest of the patties. I made about 8 of these. Now I got my little helper, my daughter Callie, my oldest, helping me. She had to do it too. How well she does that. Just like her mama. We're coming out here to the side to the grill to grill these patties up. Excuse my camera girl. She is an 8-year-old. I asked her to help me. Took her outside and it was too hot, Mom. It's too bright. She's good though. Put a little Grill Master hamburger on the top of them. I just love that mix so much. I don't know what it is, but it tastes really good. Just put it on top of all my patties. I'm just gonna grill these up and grill nice grill marks until they're done. Now we're just gonna build our burgers. So I got my buns and I lightly toasted them. So I just love a toasted bun. So here's my patty, my cheese. It's not gonna be that melted. I did some bacon earlier, so I'm putting little pieces up there. I love my mustard and ketchup. And of course, we gotta add some pickles. We got some lettuce and tomato now. I don't do onions. Not raw onions, at least. So then we're gonna side it with a little bit of chips. This is 4th of July. So what's more festive than that? A homemade hamburger. There we go. There's mine. Came out like a slider though. There's my daughter's with the fried egg. Don't pop the yolk.
When you bite into it, it's a little hard, but then you just like taste the goodness.
With the pinky up, huh?
That's good.
Go like this. Yeah.
That is good. That is delicious.
You dead?
It's so good.
It's so good. But how could somebody make that? It's so delicious.
Well, I made them.
The first person to make a delicious burger. So it's not good?
Good for you.
Like it?
Mm-hmm.
Nice and sweet.
Mm-hmm. It's good.
I love the ham.
Go like this.